Hello guys, Kim Jong-Lee here, back with another online commentary battle for Rome Total War. This was a battle sent in by Terminator. This was for a tournament. I've forgotten the name of it. But it was for a tournament, so there is a money table, and in this game Scythia has 13k, while Rome has 15k. It is CWB, of course. So we'll just get the battle started since it seems like it takes quite long. We have Terminator here as Terminus, and SImplex is Luke of the Harvesters of Sorrow clan, I think, unless he's left it since then. We'll have a look at what Terminator's brought. So he's got the maidens, obviously, 6 maidens, which is quite good. Yeah. There are Scythian horse archers though. So 2, 4, 6 maidens, 1 horse archer. A few archer warbands here which are dueling it out with the Roman archers opposite, and 2 chosen archer warbands on the wing. For Luke, looks like just Roman archers and Praetorian Cav, and the Roman Cav are probably there to counter the horse archers over here, should they come around. What Terminator's got going for him right now are his archers, pretty much. He can definitely use his archers to get the advantage in the missile duel, and ignore that, that's just the spectators playing around. But yeah, Terminator can definitely use his archers to get the advantage in the missile duel and kind of push Luke to do what he wants. He does have the Denarii advantage, and Scythia's archers are pretty good, so that should be done, especially with these horse archers you can definitely use to harass. Could be using them a bit more, but he's not using them. Luke seems like he's pretty happy to just sit around with his Roman Cav as well, which I don't mind. The Roman Cav are fine if they don't actually get the horse archers, because they can still be okay in the Cav fight, since they can form wedge and get some good charges in. Whereas the horse archers, you have to kind of use them early on in the skirmish phase, or they're not as effective when it's just a big mash of melee. So both sides archers are fairly even, I suppose, but I think with these chosen archers, Terminator does have the advantage. It's just a matter of time before he really starts to get through these Roman archers. There is an archer auxiliar, but Terminator's got 2 chosen archers, and he's got these Scythian horse archers, which he's not using. He did send the peasants in as well at the start, so that's definitely helped against these archers over here. What Luke's probably going to look to try and do, so yeah, this is one of the spectators, Gwyn, who's just gonna give Luke some free kills here. But anyway, yeah, what Luke's probably looking to do is just let his archers do some work first. When they're all dead, mostly dead, and then he'll have to try and push in, or try and lure Terminator to push in himself with the Cav. What Terminator's looking to do is definitely just push his archer advantage, and then yeah, try and get the advantage through missiles, shoot his Cav after his archers are all done, and then get in the big mashup with these headhunting maidens, which are very devastating. He's got warhounds as well, which is an interesting choice to back his Cav up with. They can be quite useful, because sometimes when you bring infantry like the Axemen, it's hard to get them into the fight because they're slower than the Cav, but the warhounds are quite fast, so if there's a Cav fight that's a bit further away that he really needs to get to, the warhounds will definitely come in handy there. Looks like they don't have any upgrades, so it's just probably there for a bit of fun, and could be quite useful as well. Terminator sending these peasants in again. Yeah, just probably to get rid of them. And yeah, looks like these routing units from the spectators are messing both players up quite a bit, so they're going to pull back and just kind of deal with these units before they go in for an engagement or something. That's what I think anyway. This Archer warband is straying a bit far though. Looks like Luke and Terminator are just going to ignore these Egyptian units that are running around. And it looks like Luke is pretty well consolidated here. Roman Cav picking off an Archer unit there. Terminator hasn't used these horse archers yet, so he should be bringing them around now and trying to get some shots into the Cav if he can, if not into these Archer Auxilia. He does have to watch out though. Luke is pressuring him quite a bit on this side. He's got 2 Cav units here which could get caught. It is possible. The Warhounds here getting charged by Luke to try and get rid of them, but the Warhounds don't rout, surprisingly. It's a lot of Cav and it's just one. Okay, it's gone now. So yeah, Luke just pushing with the Cav. As I said before, he's run out of archers, so he's going to push with the Cav. He's going to get rid of some of Terminator's archers, get that missile advantage away from Terminator, and try and get Terminator to kind of force Terminator to try and initiate some premature Cav fight, where the Praetorian cavalry would be quite good. These Roman Cav as well, potentially quite helpful in a Cav fight, more so than the Scythian horse archers, I'd imagine. There's another spectator, El Nino, over there, not just spectating like a normal person. Yeah. So Luke moving around still, just getting rid of some Egyptian units along the way, which are kind of messing him up, messing both players up. These Scythian headhunting maidens a bit far out. If I Terminator, I'd want to bring them in maybe a bit more. Terminator has got Luke surrounded, but I'm not sure Luke really minds that. Luke really does like this consolidation. It's more advantageous for Luke when all his guys are close together, because he does have the better stats. Stat-wise, he does have the advantage, whereas Terminator has a better bet when he's spread out, because his guys are faster, meaning they can reach different sides of the battlefield much quicker. The headhunting maidens are considered, I think, a light to medium cav unit, so they are much faster than the heavy cav, which Luke is running here. So Luke definitely doesn't mind just keeping all his guys together and consolidating. As you can see, Luke's got pretty much no archers left. It's just some very dilapidated units. Terminator though does have his work cut out for him. Luke has done a very good job chasing off all Terminator's archers, and I can only see this one chosen archer unit. So, oh, there's another unit here and a unit here. All right, so Terminator still has a couple left. He has also got these horse archers, which he is using a Cantabrian circle. Excuse me. I'd probably be trying to get shots into the cav with these horse archers, especially this light cav, which might be quite vulnerable. Yeah. But Luke gonna go in here. He does seem to have caught this general unit, but it's gonna pull out at the last second and get away. So close call for Terminator there. The heavy cav of Luke is much better in a big group, and that is exactly what he's doing. Terminator though catching a peasant, which is not much to speak of. He's obviously eyeing these archers over here, trying to pull these cav units away, get these archers, and then get clear of Luke before you can really retaliate. But Luke's doing very well in keeping these archers close to his cav, just running behind them. So any attempts by Terminator to kind of catch these archers off guard can be quickly countered by the Praetorian cav. Terminator's still walking around. Both players are looking for a good engagement. Luke's probably got a slightly easier time of it because these guys are so close together. But Terminator does have the angles on him, so if it does come down to a big engagement, Terminator does have quite a bit more kind of freedom, sort of, to take the angles he likes, whereas Luke will have to react a bit more quickly to get surrounds and things. And Luke really can't. If I was Luke, I totally understand the position he's in. He doesn't want to play the aggressor because the cav Terminator has is just so much faster than his. There's very little point trying to just run after things you'll never catch. So that's why he's just keeping everything around here. Loose formation, just gonna sit around, which is fine. Yeah, exhaustion hurts more than like missile fire in the long run. So definitely appreciating the way Luke is playing here. I feel like a lot of players would just kind of run after like a small group or something of cav, which is definitely not good, because you have to well, Luke kind of has to keep his guys together or he'll lose pretty fast because Terminator has the speed advantage with the maidens. So yeah, keeping all his guys together I think is correct. And Terminator's playing pretty well as well. He's just trying to get good angles with these horse archers, trying to get to the cav units, which is exactly what I would do. Try and get at these cav units, especially this Roman cav, which is quite lightly armored. Take them out of the equation, make it a bit easier for yourself when you go in for that big cav strike. Yeah, still anyone's game at this point. Luke has a very strong cav contingent still, but Terminator's cav I'd say is much more fresh. Yeah, much more fresh, and Luke has taken a few losses on some of these guys, probably due to missiles. So yeah, this is what it's come down to. I think I'll triple speed it because it's a bit slow. But Terminator's just going to use his missile advantage to the fullest. Seems like Luke's archers and stuff have just probably run out of ammo. Terminator's still got his horse archers. Maybe he's been saving them for this kind of situation, which I totally wouldn't blame him for. It's quite fair to kind of just have some arrows in reserve, and it's much easier to keep horse archer arrows in reserve, so that could be a nice little strategy of his. We see some archer auxiliary here getting caught out, but that's not really significant for Terminator. The Warhound's here as well. But that's not really significant for Terminator, because I think these archers had run out of arrows anyway. Yep. Well, no, they had a few arrows left, but they were very tired and very depleted, so can't see them making a really huge impact on the game at this point anyway. And yeah, looks like Terminator's also consolidated. Nope, he's got... Okay, the Scythian horse archers are back here, that makes sense. Let's put them in tight formation as well. And they've still got arrows, so Terminator can still run around and shoot Luke's cav, which is totally viable strategy. I think maybe Scythia... No, Scythia, no, it's fine. Scythia has very good chances now. This unit's down to 23, 23, 26, 25, 18, so that's very depleted. 22, these guys are 19, 26, 21, 26, 27, 25, and we've got these Scythian horse archers out here, but they are very tired. It's still fairly even, I'd say. So it might just come down to who gets the better charges at this point. It is looking quite even. Both players are sticking to their game plans, which is quite fair. Just triple speed it a bit more. Nothing much is happening. It's just these Scythian horse archers shooting, getting chased, shooting a bit more. Oh, one got caught a bit there. Looks like Terminator is just going to rest up his guys. His Scythian horse archers over here, and Luke is going to do the same. Just going to rest up his cav as well. So we're going to be here for a little while. But I guess I'll just talk about how the game's gone so far. Both players have really not done anything too out of the box. This is very standard gameplay, I'd say. Yeah, Scythia had the missile advantage, and Scythia's using it. Rome has the heavy cav advantage in stats, even though it's probably much more marginal. And yeah, Luke's using that to his advantage, keeping his guys together, keeping his heavy cav together. And yeah, not getting them exhausted, because that is one disadvantage of the heavy cav. They get exhausted much faster, and they can't catch the light cav. So Luke has stuck to the game plan, has stuck to the almost missed it. Alright, so we've got one cav unit, the Roman cav, getting caught out there by the Scythian horse archer, which seems to have, you know, revitalized after its rest, which probably, I won't say it benefited the other one more, but it probably benefited Terminator more, because he has the numbers in cav, that little resting period. But to be fair, even if Luke wanted to stop him resting, he probably couldn't, because his cav are heavy cav, and they can't really chase Terminator's cav very well. But yeah, Luke is just gonna run around a bit now, doing a bit of a spin. Luke needs to reorganize here. Terminator looks like he's all ready for a big charge. So it's really just going to come down to the cav. It's very normal though. Nothing really spectacular, but yeah, it's going to come down to a cav battle. Quite generic. But that time that Terminator took to just run around and shoot at Luke's cav is going to pay off now, if it ever will. We'll see how it goes with this charge. No, not this charge. Scythian horse archer very close to getting caught there, but again, heavy cav, not gonna catch light cav. These guys still have arrows, oh my god. So saving those arrows on the Scythian horse archers might have just paid off for Terminator quite well. Yeah, normally these arrows, a lot of them are used early on in the game, so they don't have many left to fire at cav. And when they do have some left to fire at cav, they're exhausted or something from shooting the archers for so long, so they're not as effective. But maybe this arrow saving strategy is quite good against this thing. No, I'm not sure. But yeah, it seems to be working for Terminator. He's taken down a lot of these cav units. It's down to 17 now, 15, 19, 25, 26, 23. But minus the Roman cav unit. I'd say Terminator's just been slowly getting a bigger and bigger advantage over time. And yeah, he couldn't really ask for more, to be honest. It's just 13 guys, 12. I'm not sure if these guys have actually just run out of arrows. I think they might have. So he's just sending them into battle. But here comes the big charge, the big decider. Neither player got a really good charge in, I'd say. Yeah. But it looks like Luke's general died and that's it. So, bit anticlimactic, I suppose, but it is how it is. It wasn't looking too good for him anyway. But, yeah. Well played to Terminator and to Luke. I believe Terminator did send me the results screen, so I'll try to put that in the end of the video. Yeah, well played guys, and I'll see you guys next time.